Hi, welcome to the MOBCAST. I'm David Turner.
I'm Sam Staff.
I'm Josh Simmonds.
Emily Robinson / other Dave.
Dave point two.
We're going to do the yay this time.
Oh no, you already got messed up.
Is that whenever we do a yay is when we do the intro, right?
Yes.
I thought you never made a bad pun. Or a crude innuendo.
Is it? Oh, it can happen at any
Hey.
time.
Like finger guns.
Oh dear.
By the way, if I didn't mention, thanks for doing episode 3 when I wasn't here.
We had planned to do one each week, but the second week there was it was just me and Simon in the house. I think.
Yeah.
And then we were just like,
That's fine.
Can't even get the first one to upload, so we'll just
I'm
wait
glad.
for Dave. He can do it.
I'm glad my fictional life made such a good talking subject.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
I was listening to it. For some reason, I said something about you having a bottle of WKD stuck in your ear.
Yeah.
I can't quite understand.
That's how wasted he was.
Crawling back home.
Yeah, you're crawling through the window with I think I said you'd have coke in your nostrils and salt from
Tequila.
tequilas.
Do you want to know why?
Snorting them from the women.
Do you want to know what I actually did while I was on Richard's my brother's stag do?
What's that?
I went to an art gallery.
Yay!
But basically, I did do a lot of fun stuff. We went on this beer cart thing, which is this cart that you had to pedal while drinking beer. So it was pretty fun.
Nice.
But I don't really the people I was with were mainly brother's friends, and they're not really the sort of people I usually gel with. I mean, I went out with them on a few nights, but then there were other occasions where I just couldn't be bothered to continue drinking, and just did my own thing with my dad.
So, fair enough.
So there was I think on the final day when we had both just woken up and everyone was still semi hungover and saying let's go to another bar, and me and my dad just said to each other, hey, there's an art gallery near here. let's go to that instead. No, that's and that's why I have a fictional life.
Ones we make up for you.
In your fictional life, you literally have to run away from the woman because there's just so many on the island.
On Ireland.
He's got his own
I went,
island.
Yeah.
I went to Amsterdam.
Island. Everything's an island if you change the definition to be big enough.
It's very mind palace, isn't it? It's creating a lovely visual paradise for you.
So back on topic. What people have done played Seed this week.
Seed?
Seed.
What did I seed?
What did you seed,
What
Josh?
did you seed?
Oh dear.
What do people watch
Is
this
it
week?
Oak or Apple?
What do people watch or play this week?
I have recently got myself another copy because I used to have a copy of this game, Fallout 3, which is one of my favourite games ever, and I had a copy and I lent it to someone, and then we both moved away, and I haven't been able to play it the last 3 years, and I finally got another copy of it. I had a $5 in my pocket, and I thought, I'll just go to CEX, see what's in there, and it was on the shelf for a $5, and I was thinking, I wanted to get Fallout. It's just meant to be. I picked up a copy, and I've been loving that again. I much prefer it to New Vegas, the world of it is the story, and there's much more charm to the map than there is in New Vegas. But
I had a copy of it here if you wanted to borrow it.
yeah, well now I've got my own one again. So I thought I also had all the expansion packs and stuff on my hard drive, but I can't find them at the moment, so I don't know what I've done because I had the special box version.
Oh, so
the end of the year version that had all the extras on it and stuff.
So how far have you made it into that then?
Well, since I bought it, or in total?
Since you bought it.
Since I bought it, I've done. I've got just past the Galaxy News Radio mission. We have to go get the disc, the satellite disc. So not a huge amount. But I mean, when I played it to complete death. I would never stop playing it. It was incredible.
Yeah. So
I'm just really happy to have it again because it's been long enough for me to forget most of the stuff. So
is it as good as you remember it?
Oh yeah. I do have, however, I miss the iron sights that you got in New Vegas, which you don't get in Fallout 3. It kind of does this weird kind of slight zoom in, as if you just move your hand slightly closer to your head. That's about it, really, rather than looking down the sights. So and also because I wanted to play it it hasn't got a hardcore mode New Vegas has. So I've been playing it the way I've been playing Skyrim, where I get rid of the HUD and I get rid of the crosshair and I get rid of all this stuff. So it's basically just me and a gun in the corner. And I've got quite good at shooting people without any crosshair or anything. So, because I mean, when you shoot, it kind of shoots somewhere near it anyway. So I get the lucky headshots quite often actually. With it's been good. It's been really enjoyed playing that game again.
What about can you still use the what's that thing called? The Pip-Boy, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way you really know what's going on. But yeah, I like to just kind of, because I never use VATs. I used to when I first played it, and I might use it to kind of like show me where some targets are, like a bit of strategic stuff. But I never use it to shoot people.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a bit. I mean, it's a good system, and a lot of people love it. But I personally think it's a bit of a cop out. If you can shoot them, you know, if you're going to play it on a console kind of thing, that's what consoles are designed for. Like PC games, you can click and point and make something go somewhere. And it's like, okay. But I much prefer actually using a console controller to actually shoot stuff rather than just like select it and wait for numbers to crunch and see if I can actually hit it.
Yeah, I do remember Fallout 3 being a game where you could just sort of spend ages like wandering around the cities and stuff, couldn't you?
Yeah. Whereas with New Vegas, like you'd spend ages wandering and then you'd get stuck in a pit full of cazadors, or you get to like this big cliff face and you had to walk half an hour to get around it. And it's just it just didn't have quite charm that I thought.
Yeah, but I do like. Yeah, I do like the creative freedom it allows as well. I mean, just like anything can sort of vary based on how you interact with people and what you do.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but with New Vegas, the shooting, it was alright, but sometimes when you shot like a target right in front of you, it didn't hit anything. So it was so harder to kill.
I've never had that problem.
I never found like the shooting part of Fallout the most enjoyable in a way, especially like the whole sort of like lock-in things. That does take me.
Yeah, the VATs, I understand.
That does take me out of the experience sometimes, so I do try and avoid doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part though, I do really enjoy the game. I mean, I do like being immersed in this very sort of tragic apocalyptic-looking world. I just like how there's so much depth to it, and I just like how everything changes based on how you interact with people.
It does look beautiful.
Talking about Fallout, and obviously with the release of Elder Scrolls Online, the guys from Inside Gaming were one of those words.
Hypothetically?
Theorising or hypothesizing that there may be a Fallout 4 multiplayer MMO. Would you guys want to play that?
No.
No?
I
wouldn't want Fallout 4 to be an
answer.
MMO. I wouldn't mind there being a Fallout MMO, but I wouldn't want Fallout 4 to be an MMO. I'd want a continuation of the series.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine as a side thing. I mean, I'm fine with. I'm probably not going to play here, so to be honest. And I'm fine with it being there, and I know a lot of people will enjoy it. And even if I did get to play it, I will enjoy it. But I know there's going to be another Elder Scrolls game.
That's like releasing Diablo 3 and making it online only. Oh wait.
Yeah.
That happened.
Well, the thing is, I can understand Elder Scrolls Online. That looks fantastic, and that would be interesting. But with the whole sort of Fallout, I don't know.
I wish there was an offline version of Elder Scrolls Online.
That'll be the next Elder Scrolls, which will come in the next couple of years.
The thing is, are they saying with Fallout 4 that'll be like online only then?
No. They would, because there's not even any mention of Bethesda, anything to do with Fallout for the next few years. They're doing Doom and Wolfenstein and all that instead, aren't they? So, but yeah, they were saying, would you want it to be an MMO like they did with Elder Scrolls? But I think, was it Black Isle Studios, the guys who originally had Fallout, I think for a while they were working on a Fallout MMO because they still had the rights to that. Because they wanted to do Fallout 3, they wanted to do, it was called Fallout Van Buren, and then that got cancelled, and then other companies picked up for Brotherhood of Steel and all those games, and then Bethesda got the rights for Fallout 3, and then ZeniMax and Obsidian did New Vegas. But recently, Bethesda managed to get hold of the rights to sell Fallout 1 and 2, even though they were developed by Black Isle Studios back in the day. So just before, a couple of days, because I've got them upstairs now, just before, the handover came for the properties, Black Isle Studio basically sold, Fallout 1 and 2 for pretty much a couple of pennies or something each. So everybody got a copy of it before Bethesda got hold of it. So everybody's got it now. And Bethesda can't make barely any money off it. But yeah,
I could probably make some still from me because, as you all know, I'm kind of slowly working my way through a catalogue of games.
Yeah.
Before films.
Anything you would like to talk about today?
I finished. Someone bought Portal 2 for me, and I finished it. And again, there's nothing I can say about that. Last podcast, that hasn't been said before.
We don't talk about new stuff, so feel free.
Yeah. Just now when I had to go, because I finished it while I was in Bristol, and I spent most of my days in a fabric shop, hoping, beyond all hope, that Stephen Merchant, as a Bristolian, would walk into the shop for whatever reason. I was like, please, and no. Of course, it didn't happen.
But so, you played the first Portal then?
Yeah, I played it
So
back
how,
before the third.
so how good is the new one compared to the previous one?
Well, I agree with what Eleanor told me. She's my Welsh friend who
Mhm.
comes up and hits me if I say more than 3 puns in one day. She said Portal itself is a very good game, but it was mainly done to test the engine, to test how it would work and whether people would like it.
And it's sort
So
of
it's a good game in itself.
and it sort of accidentally became a classic.
Yeah, it's a good game in itself. But in terms of plot, all Portal seems to be in a standalone game, it's quite good. But then, as kind of a lead up to Portal 2 and the plot, everything there, it just feels like Portal is the prequel. In many ways, is because Portal 2. Yes.
One gripe someone had with Portal 2 was what they liked so much about Portal 1 was the fact it was a short game, but it didn't outstay its welcome. While Portal 2 got a bit more convoluted at times.
I thought Portal 2 was great all the way through.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Well
interesting.
paced.
I think the people who found it convoluted or awkward or anything were just people who couldn't do the puzzles.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this bit takes forever, and it doesn't. It's down to. I mean, the gameplay takes as long as it takes for you to work it out, really. So.
I mean, some bits I got stuck on it, and the satisfaction was at least equal to when I solved Monkey Island puzzles.
I got almost. On the single player playthrough, I was pretty much all right. When it came to the multiplayer, I tried to play it with my mate Joe. Oh, Jesus.
Really?
There's
Because I
nothing
played it
more
with Luke,
frustrating
and the
than
only
to
thing
play.
we haven't done is the extras, because we pretty much just went through it in a couple
Couldn't
of
get him
days.
to do anything. He's an intelligent guy, and I could not get. He just didn't understand. It came to this weird. I don't know. Just
I think a puzzle game like Portal, you definitely need to play with someone who's on the same level as you.
But yeah,
Yeah.
and everything else. I mean, we played in a band together. We could lock in musically perfectly, and we had all the same ideas and artistic ideas and all this kind of stuff. And it came to this, and he was like. I was like, put one there. Which one? Blue one. No, that's the purple. Put the blue. No, not there. Every level was like this, over and over and over.
I was
again.
a few
It's
modes
just
like that.
oh.
Hey Josh, look, this shoots a portal.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
And then of course we both have those moments where, mostly mine, where I'm like, oh, I could put one there. Oh God, you just dropped me into the water. Why would you do that?
Why did you remove this one? I don't know. I didn't know it was going to happen. So you can't only have 2 open at once. You've got more than 2. It's like, no, I haven't. Oh.
I think you have to find someone who you have those moments, because it's boring if you just stop them all straight away with no problems,
Yeah.
but also someone that is on the same wavelength and someone that doesn't mind when you kill them. That's the kind of friend you need. Someone who's happy with a bit of friendly homicide. Homicide.
It got to the point where I'd be like, I'd move something with my controller, like stay still, and I'd reach over and do it on his controller, and then I'd come back. I don't know why I'm miming because it's audio, but yeah.
Oh, we couldn't do that because, we were on 2 separate computers, 2 different houses.
Oh, we were sat next to each other on the sofa in his room with he just moved into this house. He just moved out of his parents' place for a few months. It was just this dingy little flat in the worst part of town. This crappy old TV, and just there, I managed to lug my Xbox over, so we just place stank of smoke, and it was like bits of omelette and a plate over there, something ashtrays and coffee everywhere. Jesus, yeah. So I don't think we were in the right frame of mind for playing it. But, oh my God, just sat next to each other, just like fucking.
So I finished Portal 2, and the plot and the casting and the script, oh my God, an amazing game with good script, but amazing script is just everything.
That is right.
And I've started Borderlands, and I'm currently about level 22, so I've just I've killed Sledge, I'm on my way to opening the vault, I'm not starting on the main quest, things are picking up. I've met the crazy, her name is Patricia... something, I don't know, the one that you pick up the little audio diaries and you hear her slowly going crazy.
I played Borderlands 2, so I don't know how different it is.
Yeah, but I don't want to play Borderlands 2 because unlike pretty much everything else on the internet, I haven't come across any spoilers for the end of Borderlands yet. And so I want to play it through, because I've got Borderlands 2 on Steam and, it's ready to install whenever I want to, but I want to play Borderlands through first and then move on to Borderlands 2.
Talking of Borderlands, now that there's going to be sort of a prequel sequel that's going to be in between the first one and the second one, would you play the prequel before you play the actual sequel?
Why don't you could wait for the new one and then play them in order.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I
A unique
have you-
viewpoint on the entire series.
Yeah.
I was not aware of that.
Because they're bringing out, they're calling it a sequel, but it's a prequel, and you get to choose Claptrap as one of your characters, which will be fucking awesome.
Claptrap go around fucking shit up.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with that.
I don't think until now I've ever heard anybody speak in like a positive light about Claptrap. Like
He's
everybody I know who
awesome.
played it hates him.
He's nothing like Jar Jar Binks, for fuck's sake. He's
Wait,
awesome.
He's not quite on the Navi where he goes, hey, listen all the time. Just every now and then you come across one who's a bit spat. Yeah.
Is Claptrap the robot on like one wheel?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, and you always
he's
come across
brilliant.
ones that are like broken somewhere because you know.
I don't know how different he is in the first Borderlands games, but I just kind of liked how he was sort of like mildly insane.
Yeah. He's that as well. Like he's always like, hey, look, I'm dancing.
Yeah, I mean, I liked one scene where he's going. The reason I'm always in this talking this uplifting voice is because I'm set that way. I'm actually really depressed.
Like Marvin the paranoid android, but stuck
It was like very,
in a happy.
it was like very darkly funny.
Oh, poor Marvin. I haven't seen any good versions of Hitchhiker's Guide in a very long time.
Just
The books are. I mean, Alan Rickman was perfect for the voice, but the film was just really badly done. The actors were all the right actors, except for
Yeah.
Safod. He looked really
It was-
weird.
Yeah, Martin Freeman was just the perfect.
I think Martin Freeman and
character.
Zooey Deschanel were really good in that. Mos
Def,
Def, I'd never seen or heard of him.
I think it was
Yeah, he wasn't quite what I imagined. I thought he did the job well, though.
Yeah.
And Bill Nye and stuff was what's it?
Fart
Arty
Blast.
Farty Bart Blast or something.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh god, I think it was well cast, but I think the directors just kind of went off on one.
I think we were,
It's like,
Didn't-
what is happening?
didn't I make a point to you a few weeks ago saying isn't it always depressing when they get an amazing cast on something, but then they just don't have a very good director.
Yeah. They said that they were really. I remember watching a documentary that the director said that they were really big fans of the book. I was like, why did you change so much of it?
Yeah.
And like, I was just there, like, what?
Because there's nothing like the first.
Where are we now?
Like the first.
Of course they're going to
You
say
just have to go for 3 sequels, go for all the sequels and just accept, like, hope that people accept the insanity rather than try and squeeze it all into one coherent plotline.
Yeah, there needs to be more weird and then more explanations from Stephen Fry as to why the weird is happening.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
in the book, like when you get the hitchhiker, the guide will be like, and this is what this
Yeah.
is. And you're like, oh, now I understand this weird fucking idea that somebody's got.
Like, 2 things I really want to see in the film, if they ever consider remaking it again. The Bistromatic engine, like, focusing on the maths of trying to
Trying to make a
think,
perfect cup of tea.
trying to work out,
Is it not? Oh wait, no.
that's one when he gets, that's in the film.
Is it? Oh,
When he confused it, like when he was yes, I think. But the other one is like after the impossibility engine, the next one that Zaphod Beatbox kidnaps and takes over is the Bistromatic, and basically it's kind of the actual engine is like a simulation of an Italian family arguing over a bill,
Oh, yeah.
and the sheer like
Yes.
impossible mathematics powers it. And the
Yeah.
other thing I
It was
really want to see,
improbability, wasn't it?
yeah, was the
Nothing's impossible. Everything's just highly improbable.
often rotated phone numbers.
Yeah.
But the other thing I really want to see is
Did Doctor Who
the
still
Church
alive?
of Hate against. I forgot what the main character's name is. That's so bad.
Arthur Dent.
Yeah, Arthur Dent. Because they show the flower pot in the film, but they don't explain why he goes, oh no,
the
not
flower
again.
pot's like,
Yeah.
oh no, not again.
But
And
don't
it's
explain the
it's
Church
that
of
dude,
Hate.
isn't it? Yeah. And he's been all these different things that he's killed and it's just
By Arthur
he's
Dent.
ruined his life and yeah, all because of Arthur Dent. He's like, what? There he's dressing him. I remember, I think with the books, I think when I got to the 5th one, I got a bit out. Like I kind
Was
of,
that
I
the
kind
one
of lost
when
it
they
a bit.
introduced a second
It's when
Hitchhiker's Guide?
no, it's because he finds like a second version of Earth, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then he meets that woman. I think her name's
Who can fly?
Fenchurch or something. Yeah. And
Yeah.
they
They
teach
have
each other
sex
to
on an
fly.
airplane wing. That was
Something
really
like that, yeah. But then, like the 5th book, she just vanished in between
Yeah.
books because she just vanished. And it's not like with like the Transformers films when Megan Fox was no longer in it because she pissed off the director. They had to write in something. He literally just thought, I don't want her in the book anymore, and just wrote her out. It's like,
But there's
what?
like no explanation.
Yeah, there is an explanation. It's like at some point they went on a hyperspace travel, and because she was from a certain area, she disappeared. And apparently there's a little sign to say, if you're from ZZ plural 9Z alpha, so it is, be careful travelling hyperspace because you might disappear. And she did. She just vanished. I was like, but there was actual genuine character there. And she just
Yeah.
gone.
So some things I like when he does that. Not with characters, but with the 6 times 9. You know, what's the answer? What's the question? And the question is 6 times 9. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
You know. the question to the answer of life, the universe, and everything is what is 6 times 9, and then one of the characters go, oh, well, I always knew there was something fundamentally wrong with the universe. And then it's not brought up again in the next book with the little preface in the next book saying someone has. People have thought that if the question was ever found, the question and the answer could not exist in the same universe, and then it's just never mentioned again.
6 times 9 is 54.
Yeah, but the answer is 42.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, and that's why I say I always knew there was something fundamentally wrong with the universe.
Yes, but I forgot about that.
Even I got that one.
God, I was just like, hang on. Because I remember when they're trying to work out the question when he's got the answer
He's
as
got
well.
the
The first
Scrabble.
time they're all a bit confused. Yeah.
He's got a little board of Scrabble, like surrounded by all the old hairdressers who are now kind of gone all primitive.
Yeah, because there's that whole really weird sequence as well in the books where they're trapped on that
The whole
planet and he's like a
is a
sandwich.
weird sequence.
He becomes just the sandwich maker for that tribe from the perfectly normal beasts, which just appear somewhere,
Yeah.
run across the land and disappear somewhere else. And you have to hunt them all at that time, and then you make sandwiches out of them. It's like, what? And they're a bunch of people from some planet, and they're all like really useless people, useless at surviving in the wild. They're all just like really
They're
kind
the
of
hairdressers,
hairdressers
and
and
phone
like
cleansers.
got like crap accountants and like cleaners and window cleaners and stuff. And they live in a forest, and they're just like, what the fuck do we do now? And
They're abandoned
he's the
by
most
the-
useful
yeah.
person because he can make sandwiches. And apparently his sandwiches are amazing. It's really strange.
But I think
it's weird.
was it the 6th book then that there's a second
There's
version of
only
A Hitchhiker's Guide?
It's fine. It's
Sure,
a
it's-
trilogy of 5. I've got them upstairs.
But then it must be in
Wait,
the 5th or the 6th book where he actually goes to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the offices and the headquarters.
Yeah, that's
And there's a second edition of the Hitchhiker's Guide, and it's this really weird creature type thing, or like this black.
yeah. No, that's
disc.
the 4th.
Wait, it's a quick wait.
Because there's only 5 books, and I think it's the 4th. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I know it's not the 6th because
And then it just sort of disappears into another dimension.
Yeah,
never
it's this
seen
weird
again.
weird kind of
Turns into
conscious
animals
entity
and-
thing.
yeah.
It's like a bird or something. I think it's at first.
Wait, it's
And
a
also, was that the one where the building starts collapsing as well?
Yeah.
Because he's wanted, and he has those glasses that when you're in danger just can turn completely opaque so you can't see the danger. It's so dumb.
I could do with some of those.
And there was that. What's the torture mechanism that they capture Zaphod and they take him to? It's meant to make you like see how infinitesimally small you are in
But then
like,
he just
relation
comes
to
out and he's like, I'm pretty
in relation
great!
to like the universe and like how little you matter, and they put him in and it's just like, yeah, I'm great. He just sees himself as like, yeah, it's weird because there's never
And
really
the
any closure on that.
cricketers! I love the cricketers, like how Earth people are seen as weird because they actually commemorate this time that there was this huge genocide.
Yeah, because
Into
it's
the
these
game of
robots
cricket,
that
yeah.
basically just look like cricket players, and
Oh,
it's
no,
just a weird
humans.
coincidence.
Humans, they were kind of they lived on a planet in a nebula, so they didn't know there was an outside world.
Oh,
and one
yeah,
day,
that's the one. The weird
yeah.
kind of and he went out. Oh god! And there's that other story about that massive army. Like somebody said something, and like somehow like a space time thing opened, and like the word travelled through, and then it came out in the middle of some kind of really intense like war debate, and like one of
Set
them-
it off.
it's
That
like
was
an
after
insult to
Dent, I
both
think.
languages. Yeah. And then like this basically this giant like fleet worth of space battleships went flying off to go somewhere and got
To
eaten by a
Arthur
small
Dent's
dog.
house.
A small
Yeah.
dog.
Because they
Because
miscalculated
relatively
their
they're only
size.
about this big. The dog just ate them. Oh,
So,
God.
is there anything you want to talk about, Sam?
Oh god, I just played Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
You literally just.
Absolutely mental.
So
Fucking-
you were,
I
lit-
wanted to play that. in
you
a
were
while.
literally just playing that game when I knocked on your door a few
Yeah,
minutes ago. So you probably got like a pretty fresh opinion on it.
yeah. Literally, it's fucking. How do I say it? It's like being in the 80s.
But it's cliche. It's like a satire of the 80s.
Yeah,
as well,
it
It's
yeah.
very
literally
sauce.
takes the piss on
It's
it.
one of
and
those things like, oh, there should be this should happen now, and then it does. You're like,
It's
oh
very-
god.
It's very corny action sci-fi 80s, isn't it?
oh god, yeah. But it's just
It knows it, though, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
It knows it, takes the piss out of it, and it's actually really hilarious. You at the start, you obviously get your tutorial, but literally your character fucking hates it because he's like a robot. So he gets all these tutorials, like, I fucking hate tutorials, oh my god, and he can't move. He's like, I want to kill shit. And it's just like, as soon as you start, everything's awesome. You get shurikens, you can sort of stab someone and then chuck a shuriken at someone, and it's just everything's shooting laser beams at you.
That thing does have an awesome
And
soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack's brilliant.
I think I sent you a link to one of the songs, didn't I?
Oh yes, yeah, you sent me that link. That was fucking awesome. I haven't heard that one yet, but
I think
so far it's just got your usual 80s tempo. It's like amazing.
Sounds awesome.
And never have I been told that taking cover is like wearing a condom. and protecting yourself from STDs instead. It's the bullets.
I really want to play it because I really enjoyed Far Cry 3, and I really enjoyed the mechanics and stuff. I played that game
It's not really.
like to death. But yeah, I really wanted to play Blood Dragon at some point.
Everyone's
It's
told
like really good.
Everyone's told me it's not really DLC as well.
Yeah, it's like a standalone mini game kind of thing.
It
not
literally
mini-game,
is.
but
Yeah.
a small game. It's just like this. It's like Far Cry 3. Just you have like a slightly smaller island. And it's the same setup. You got to go
And everything's
like,
and everything's painted,
Capture all the
and
bases.
everything's,
capture all the bases.
and everything's painted in neon.
Everything's just
Oh,
mental
God, yes.
neon and dinosaurs and robots and crazy shit.
So that's going on the list after Half-Life, and yeah.
I do recommend checking out because I am being funny. Those blood dragons, they're like mini Godzillas that shoot just fireballs of lasers. It's just, yeah.
Sounds awesome.
And they're hard to kill as well. I basically got told to sort of crawl through stealthily to get away from them. I fucking ran. I had no choice. There was like 3 of them, and I just literally got obliterated. It's
Jeez.
But yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I need to give that a go. It does look a lot of fun. Your turn, Dave.
I haven't really played any games this week, but I did finally start watching Vikings.
Yes. What do you think?
Yeah,
Whoa.
so far it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Season 2 has just finished. And
I mean-
it's incredible.
I mean, it took me till the end of the second episode to like really get me hooked, but from that point onwards, I was like, I'm intrigued now. I want to find out what happens.
It's really, really good. And when you well, basically, I've got to wait now for another 6 months until the next installment, next season, season 3. But yeah, the end of season 2, like the end of season 1, and most episodes, just incredible. Really good.
You're definitely right in the way it's sort of very conflicting in the way you are basically following the Vikings for the most part, but
Bunch of raping, pillaging,
But-
murdering bastards. But you really like them, and then you're like, why did he do that? You're like, oh yeah, no, he's a Viking.
well, that's a very conflicting thing for me at the moment. Really, I'm not really sure who I should be liking and
Yeah, that's
who I really want to like. But that's always a good thing about it. I guess
One
I
of my
like.
favourites is Floki. He's one of my favourites. He's
I like-
really cool.
Oh, he's funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
he's
the.
proper mental.
I like the Christian as well.
Athelstan, yeah, he's
pretty-
favourite for a
He's
while.
pretty cool. He's probably the most likable out of all of them.
He's the most relatable, I think,
Yeah,
because he's British. He's from Wessex, isn't he?
and he's not a rapist.
And he's not a rapist. And, he does a bit of killing at some point.
Cool.
But yeah, he's not a rapist and he's not pillaging. And
Yeah.
not quite as
It is.
crass.
It is. Like I said, there's very conflicting moments to it, but it is in that very sort of grey area of writing where it's based off of history, so it can't really it can't really like sugarcoat things because otherwise it's being dishonest to
I mean,
history.
you can't exactly. I mean, I'm trying not to like bring about any spoilers, but the story was written or recorded. It's kind of a mixture of both. I think it's embellishment on the original story, and the original story is embellished from history anyway. It was in like about 700 AD, so we've had a long time to get for people to learn the story. But yeah, it's so good, and the way it's filmed is incredible.
You can spoil stuff mildly
The
there.
visuals are fantastic.
How accurate is it to the history source material?
Well, the history source material is about 3 or 4 paragraphs. So
Uh-huh.
it's basically, yes, very accurate,
Alright,
but also
But it's painting like a
It's-
world that existed.
dramatised, and it's an imagining of this world.
It's imagining this world. How accurate is it? This image of this world's creating.
It's
Very.
very. I mean, well, so the main story is about Ragnar's sons,
Because it
which
is.
are a big part of history and
There's
the
one.
heathen army and stuff, which we're nowhere near in the TV show yet.
Yeah,
so.
because one thing I do really like, I do really enjoy getting immersed in this world that happened 800 years ago. But I'm always constantly thinking, how accurate is it before I start talking to people about it, trying to sound smart.
Yeah, no, it is pretty close. I mean, it's based on old.
Yeah, I was gonna say 800 years.
It's more
It
like
was-
1300.
1,000.
I don't know. I took
It was in the 790s.
1,200 then.
But it's really cool, like seeing how they discovered how to travel across the seas as well, and just always just sort of like interesting sort of details to the timeline it's based
Yeah,
upon.
really.
One
really
that I
well
want to
done.
see more of is previous travel across to America before Christopher Columbus, because they found, all across that the Greeks learned it from the ancient Egyptians, who taught them the right winds to use to sail right across. And of course, in all the Polynesian islands, they can, well, not all of them, but there are sailors who can read waves and travel entire oceans and know which direction to head in by reading the waves. And so
Yeah.
people just kind of assumed that white Europeans were the first people to
Those
go
are the first
sailing.
people that recorded it, basically, I think.
Yeah.
Well, in our kind of well-known histories.
Were,
But yeah,
the-
I think
were,
it's definitely other people.
were white Europeans supposed to be able to travel a long distance though? From like half.
No,
like
that's
halfway
something
around
like the
world?
Polynesian.
No.
They could cross entire oceans, and the ancient Egyptians went all the way across to America
Ah.
from where they lived.
You think
No
nobody from
winds.
Russia might have crossed the Bering Strait when it was slightly frozen
Hmm.
across to Alaska?
But yeah, so
There's
Native
any bits there.
Americans.
I mean, it's all mixed. So,
Native
I mean,
Americans are kind of Russian. They're mixed from Africans, and so.
Yeah.
But so far,
Do you think that's why the Aztecs were quite similar to the Egyptians as well in terms of the whole?
Mayans, Incans, Aztecs,
Yeah.
all those things. Yeah.
It is entirely probable, and I just want to see more things about that because people are acting like it's some kind of new thing when it's pretty obvious when you think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much so. I'm enjoying the Vikings series. I do like the surprising amount of depth to the characters, and
It's really, really well done.
I like how complex they are, but at the same time likable in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not too hard to read into as
If
well.
I guess I could do a spoiler talk on it if I get the 2 seasons finished in the next week or so.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Another thing I've been catching up on is I don't know if any of you guys watches Walking Dead.
Sam
I
watches
Yeah.
hadn't
it.
watched season 4 until very recently,
Sam
and we
watches
just
it.
got to episode 9, which is the one
So you at the
with Rick
halfway
and Carl. When they after like the major halfway thing.
Oh right,
and
okay, yeah.
Michonne finds them.
Do you want to
Yes, as far as I
yeah.
got, yeah.
do you want to put like a
I hate the governor. Oh
He's
god.
such a. Honest to God, he is worse in the
Yeah.
comics. Honest to God, in the comics he's worse. But
But there's 2 episodes based on him, and I think maybe
Yeah,
maybe
so-
you're always hoping maybe
he's
he's.
do you want me to put a spoiler annotation up so you guys can
Yeah.
do spoiler
Well,
stuff?
I'm not spoiling anything. I mean, because I'm well behind on it. So, but
honest to God, you're gonna love it. What happens next? Hold on. What?
the next episode I think is about Maggie and Beth and Tyrese. Is it Tyrese and the kids?
Are you still at the prison?
No.
The prison attacks happened.
Everything's past that. I was trying to say that before
Like I said, you
without
guys-
saying it, but
Like
Oh,
I
I
said,
said no.
like I said, you guys can talk spoilers.
No, yeah. Okay, so you know.
So yeah, well, yeah. I said,
Okay,
like,
right.
Michonne's found Rick and Carl. That's the end of the last episode I've just watched. So yeah.
It gets really good. It's
I like how they really stepped up after last season, because last season was a bit of a drop-off point. That's why it took me so long to get into this season, to start watching, because last one was just like...
Wait, are you talking about like the end of midway season 4 or the end of season 3?
the end of season 3, I can't remember it. That's how much I wasn't really paying attention.
No,
But halfway
neither
through season 4 is where I am now,
can I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I've really enjoyed it so far. It's been really good. I watched it all like that much in like 2 days. So.
honestly, look out for one story. Basically, look out for these 2. You know Carol.
Yeah,
Look
because she
out.
left and she...
Yeah, look out for her, and you're gonna love what happens with her.
Okay.
Honest to God, you're gonna be. You're just literally gonna be like, what the fuck? I can't say anymore because it's just absolutely awesome. And yeah, what was it? What did you think of the bit where everyone started getting infected in the prison? What did you think about that?
I thought that was an interesting concept.
I thought it was a really good,
Yeah.
really good plot point. I thought it was a nice kind of added layer of tension on top of everything else. I mean, there's people going out trying to get medication, and then all this shit's going
I
down.
mean, that was
Someone's going over here, and someone's over there, and then all this crap's
I
happening.
mean, that was a nice. That was like a nice original spin on it because, because the zombie franchise, the concept of zombies and genre and whole has been overdone. So it was nice to see a new sort of original spin on it, like the idea of these people have been living in like shit environments for the past year or so. Now people are probably going to start getting infections.
What really annoyed me about it, in like the general sense of the plot, though, was like it made me like Herschel even more than I did, and that was really fucking annoying.
Oh, you didn't like Herschel?
No, I really like Herschel,
Oh, right.
and obviously.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that was just like,
Do you care?
I was like, they're just raging. Like,
Yeah.
Emily, do you care? We talk about what happens.
Huh? No?
Yeah, he dies, doesn't he?
Yeah. And he dies quite horribly as well.
Yeah.
It's not a great death.
Yeah, because when he's crawling away, I think they haven't properly killed him. Maybe he'll survive. And then it's like,
Nah. Just like.
oh,
Wasn't it-
Herschel.
Doesn't his zombie head make a cameo in like the?
Yes.
In the next episode.
Yeah.
No, his zombie head was the next episode.
Ah.
I'd say they did that half season thing across Christmas where they have a bit of a break.
I know.
But it's still the same season. So yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
God,
Shit.
that's weird.
Yeah, zombies and gore are 2 things I'm not very good at.
I used to get really creeped out by zombies and stuff.
Is that the end of
since-
spoiler talk, by the way?
Okay, since yeah, since things like this come out, and there's been so many zombie films, I'm completely insensitive to them now.
I'm
I
a
really like
little
the
bit-
idea, and I love the stories and stuff.
Wait,
but
you
it's
don't-
just like
I like it as a metaphor, but it's just because when I was young, and you know, before I had a console of my own, I used to just watch my brother on his own 64, going way back. The zombies in Zelda, they don't just kill you; they paralyze you with a scream, and then they hump you to death. And I think that is where
For
most
kids.
of my zombie fear stems from.
I think I got over it when I watched the 28 days and 28 weeks later. Like,
28 days
Yeah.
I like because the zombies are fast and for some reason, and
Yeah.
also
They're
I end
still
up rooting
fucking
for them
freaky as
because
well.
the army guys are so twisted and fucked up.
Oh,
I end
yeah,
up
after-
cheering for zombies.
Yeah, after 28 days later, I don't think any zombie franchise was going to scare me more afterwards.
Yeah.
It's the slow kind of inevitability of it that
I don't
like
think it
kind
was.
of
I
Well,
watched it at like 4 a.m. on like a crappy old TV in my bedroom with the lights off, and it was like flickering signal as well because I didn't have enough.
Yeah.
I didn't have a good enough. It was still analog, so it was really terrible. Like watching it like this.
Well,
And it was the scene where they were going to kill him, but they leave him like outside the wall and stuff. I'm just like, oh my fucking god! Or the bit in the tunnel, and you're like, ah, no! And since then, I've seen it a few times. And I'm just like,
what?
What that gets me tense is when they're trying to climb through the trolleys and they climb it.
Well-
That fucking got me tense because they're just there. You can hear them and they're climbing. Ah!
Why?
yeah.
Well, the reason up until 28 days later, the reason I never found zombies that scary is because they're always just so, they still always conveyed as very thick, brainless things. And
It's the fact that it's unrelenting. That
Yeah.
it's impossible
Yeah.
to
but,
beat
so,
it.
but I just personally as a child never found that scary. So the fact that when I saw 28 days later, there was a bit more wit to them. They knew when to run. They knew
Well, I
how to
think
climb stuff.
28 days later, like a lot of people will say that they are not zombies, which they're not. They're infected humans who are
What-
still alive.
Whatever, but
Yeah.
they're still. I just liked how there was a bit more of a wit to them, which made them more scary for me. Then.
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of the slow zombies. I think when it comes
Yeah.
to zombies, I think 28 days later is better in kind of terms of
Yeah.
like this is a virus kind of thing. Whereas zombies, I always think are they going to be the slow, constant,
Mm.
It's
monotonous.
the same
like,
reason that I'm
unable to
terrified of
defeat these
lava, because you can't. I mean, obviously I know in my head there are ways to stop it. I know that there are ways to put barriers and things, but at the same time, you look at it slowly coming down to fuck everything up, and you just think there's no
I'm
way
guessing
to
as a
stop
kid
that.
you watched one of those films.
Volcano.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
I did as well. I
Dante's
remember there's
Peak.
what's the scene? There's like somebody jumps out the back of an underground train or
That's
something, just lands
Volcano.
and slowly melts.
It's
I was
like,
"Ah!" That terrified me as a child.
But I just found
Yeah.
hilarious. But it was just kind of the idea of being trapped in somewhere, it's slowly coming in, or being trapped
Mm.
with the same thing like the fear of zombies, being trapped in a home somewhere, and just seeing them come in and knowing that it's going to happen, and not
Nothing
being able
you
to
can do
stop
about
it.
it.
Yeah.
So that's what DayZ was meant to be. Was meant to be. But,
Daisy.
Usual
Instead it
whiskey.
was- yeah.
Yeah,
Was
can I-
DayZ? No, I meant World War Z. That's what I meant.
Oh, World War Z.
Uh,
Oh yeah, because they were
Because
just.
they were just like
After
it
we
was like a hailstorm
Can we
of
talk
bloody
about-
things.
Can we talk about the news in a minute, by the way, after we finish this?
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Did you see World War Z, did you?
I attempted to watch it one night, and it's just like.
You watched it?
I thought it was okay.
Mm.
I didn't like
It had,
I haven't read the books. Is it books or comics?
the books, yeah,
the
by Max Brooks.
author of the book said it's completely different to his
Yeah,
books.
it's just
Yeah.
got the name.
Yeah, he said the names.
Vague
He said the names
similarities.
the only thing it has in common. But
Yeah.
what really got on my nerves about DayZ, and a lot of people like this, but I didn't like it, is it didn't really have an ending. It sort of just like ended in like a to be continued, see you in the sequel sort of way. And
DayZ.
Oh, you mean World War Z?
World War Z.
Yeah, it's so much zombie. That's
I
the
just
thing.
think-
I'm so desensitive because everything is zombies.
I mean,
Minecraft zombies.
I mean, a lot of people liked. I mean, a lot of people said they liked the endings. They felt like it was expanding on a bigger. It was expanding on the world in maybe later movies, but I just found it annoying because I always think a movie, even if it's planning sequels, it should still have some closure or conclusion, and I was just annoyed by that.
yeah.
What I would like to see in a movie, and it's related to sort of zombies, but not zombies, is the whole sort of infection back to sort of 20 days later,
Mm.
and that is The Last of Us. And apparently they're
Oh
actually
yeah,
thinking
they're
of doing a film.
making that. Film.
I have to say, playing that game, it's pretty much a horror game.
I would like
It's an awesome game, but seeing these infected sort of people with plants and
Tickers.
you got the brutes, and it is just horrifying.
I would like-
You're literally scared stiff.
That's one game I'm not
I
going
would
to add
like-
to my list of things to do.
I'm surprised
Oh
I
my God,
haven't
I
it
can't
heard
even
that.
get to amnesia. I haven't even got to the elevator bit again.
I'd maybe like to see a zombie film that focuses more on like the potential cruelty of what people can do in those situations, or the difficult decisions they have to make.
Well, that's what's
That's
perfect
The
about
Walking
them.
Dead.
Yeah,
That's what
Walking
most
Dead.
people do, isn't
Yeah.
it? That's what most people do,
Yeah,
isn't it?
but-
Like, could you
No,
leave?
no,
could you
Yeah,
survive?
but a little more enjoyable than Walking Dead.
I just watched season 3.
Yeah.
No,
That's all
honestly,
it is.
Yeah, but that's what I liked about 28 Days Later so much is that you start to see that the humans are more worse than the zombies in a way.
Yeah.
That's what I would be quite interested. If you were infected, but you were still yourself inside, and it kind of started as a zombie film, but then they gradually found out that the people they've been killing off and attacking were actually still perfectly human. I mean, it did like a crappy version of it with
Warm Bodies.
Warm Bodies, but
Beth
one
was
that
obsessed
wasn't.
with that for a while.
I've never seen
It is.
You know,
I had the best Valentine's Day ever for that. Not like with one day, but I was kind of tired of being alone for Valentine's Day, so I just invited a bunch of friends and said, right, you're all my Valentines, we're all going to watch this, you're my harem now.
We did that once, but I think we just ate ice cream and watched chick flicks.
Oh, I got
There was like 14 of us, just like sat in a room just with tons of ice cream and some crap chick
I just got them all like a team
Brilliant.
Valentine's Day card
Ah,
and
cool.
a pack of love hearts. I was like, right, you're my bitches now.
That's the title of this episode sorted. Anyway,
Oh,
There was a
sad
bunch of guys.
Valentine's.
There was guys and girls and stuff. It was all just like people who didn't have dates on the thing. So they were
Yeah.
just like, fuck it, we'll just enjoy the night. Just watch something
Yeah.
bad.
So where I was going with
can't
this
remember what it
before, we derailed to Warm Bodies and our sad Valentines.
last story
was-
before we move on to the news panel.
Yeah. Was just the kind of idea that, you know, these zombies are still coherent, but they're trapped in this, and they're going through that, but then people automatically treat them horrendously, and then it gets found out that actually, and then they all get killed, and like, well, why did you do this, and why did you kill this, and it was like a mass genocide, perhaps. I thought that'd be quite interesting, kind of like a nice
Schindler's
exploration of
List with
ethics.
zombies?
Huh?
No? Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe they-
basically.
that-
Yeah,
And
but
12
then
years of
it
zombie
turns
surgery.
out people have kind of been so kind of hyped up by the whole zombie film that they think they know what to do, but it turns out they're actually just killing people with an illness, and then they all get killed. Sorry, to news.
yeah, news. So has everyone heard the story about Activision and Destiny yet?
Yes.
That-
Well, I see the title on the computer over there, but I hadn't heard about it until...
No.
Yeah,
well,
so like the boss of Activision, Bobby,
Has invested
Cox-
the most in
Coxrick.
any game.
yeah, he's
Has
invested
ever been.
he's invested 500 million into the game Destiny.
Is
I
this-
can't wait to play that.
So are you?
I really think it's going to
It's
be
destined.
awesome.
Yes, I was gonna say, are you all looking forward to the game then?
I think it's going to be great.
I
I'm
mean-
looking to get a PS4 at some point in the next year.
I mean, 500 million, that's quite a lot of money.
That's a lot of fucking money to spend
Mike,
on a game.
That's more on GTA.
Is
Yeah.
this the game where it's basically a multi-online game,
It's
but it's
by
like an
Bungies,
RPG?
so-
Yeah.
It's quite.
shooting?
It's quite.
Space art, sci-fi RPG, multiplayer
Yeah.
online, but it's kind of in splinters, isn't it? So
Yeah.
you can go with your fire team, and then other ones can join in with you, and you
It's-
can have big battles, and then
it's
people
quite
leave and stuff like
It's
that.
quite surprised. It's quite surprised me how much Activision are committing to this game, because this is a. I mean, yeah, it's by Bungie, but it's still a new franchise.
Oh, I think it's
I
going to
mean-
be one of the best ones we've seen in a long
I
time.
mean, this is the
That's what
sort
I
of.
did with the last one.
I mean, that's sort of.
When they made Halo, and it was great, and then Microsoft came along and kind of made it a bit shit.
Yeah.
But
But this is the
I
sort.
think it's
I'm
going great.
glad that they're investing as much into games now as they are in films and bringing that level up, because more and more
Yeah.
people are going to get into video games, you know, even previous generations who weren't into them before.
Yeah.
And yeah,
But
that's
it's
an
just-
immersive experience.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just.
films are still like a popular medium anyway, but
Yeah.
I think with video games they add so much more depth to a story. They give
There's only
more.
so much higher quality you can give to a film that's going to fade
Yeah.
out. Sorry, Dave, we keep talking over you.
So what do you want? So what do you want out of like a new Destiny game? Could you
I
play?
want it to be everything that the trailers have said it's going to be, and everything that the gameplay has said it's going to be, because it looks incredible.
I
Even
am.
something as simple as the lighting mechanics in the games just looks fantastic.
I
Have they
mean,
taken that from
I've-
sort of like Frostbite? Sort of the whole
I
because
can't
Frostbite
remember
was
engine.
fantastic. when I
I've
saw
seen
Because
it.
they have
some
that,
of
I don't know if you've seen that they have that thing. It's like the
Yeah.
spark from Halo. It's pretty much the spark from Halo, but it helps you out, and it flies out and stuff. And it's got this spotlight, and it moves up past these girders, and just everything is perfectly lit. And I'm just like, and the way it moves, and just like the way things fit. Visually, it looks fantastic. If it works technically the way that they've been showing it, I think it could be really, really good.
I haven't seen a lot of the trailers yet. I probably should have before I went on here. But I would like to see more variety in Destiny compared to Halo, because one thing One thing I liked about Halo Reach, but we didn't have enough of. They didn't have they didn't have a lot of variety at times. You had missions where you got a jetpack. You had missions where you could go out in space, but it was like
It was linear. It was like
very,
being on a ghost ride.
Those moments were sort of like too short and few, and it's just like back to the,
Well, it's a massive thing. You can go to the moon, you can go to Mars, you can go to Earth, you can go to all these different places.
So Bungie have proven they can experiment with other mechanics, like going to piloting ships and going on jetpacks, and it can be really fun. But I'd like to see more depth of that in.
There's also class systems and stuff, isn't there? There's the I can't remember what they're called, but they're basically pretty much just the rogue, the hunter, and the tank kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the
With one token female character?
But just more.
No, I think you can swap gender, you can just change gender.
But just more.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like a Marvel, but it does look to be awesome. I'm really, really excited to play it.
But just more. That's just basically.
She-Hulk with armor.
Yeah, that's basically what I just want. Just a lot of depth as opposed to just shooting things all the time.
Well, maybe not She-Hulk, because She-Hulk is usually still, even though she's really meant to be super strong, like the Hulk, she's still unreasonably skinny. Like, she hasn't got any actual muscle. She's got like a small sick.
It's drawn by a man in his cupboard.
Yeah.
Don't apply logic to
Masturbating furiously.
Well, yeah, it's not really easy to hold a pen.
while designing.
Big as old Hulk.
Don't apply logic to comic books. We'll be here for ages.
Yeah, but
that's how we got the Red Hulk.
The thing is, there's a movement kind of now where more women are.
I don't even understand that.
No, neither do I.
Please don't explain it.
I don't want to explain.
So, but there is kind of now more women are moving into arts. Like, there's a new, not Wonder Woman, Miss Marvel, who is the kind of Muslim superhero in America, and that's got really popular. But yeah, it is kind of slowly moving back into a more equal, because it started off like the internet. I think it started off with kind of men taking more interest, and then as a playing field leveled out, people are kind of reclaiming things.
It's the same with like the game industry in general now. It's almost like equal to who plays it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, because I'm playing Borderlands in the old games, I've noticed that there's more just one token female character. Whereas nowadays, with it more, you can get the options of choosing.
I think I was looking up a stat recently. I think it was like the game market for men and women playing games is almost equal. It's like 51% are men and 49% are women.
Yeah, but they still often target it more. They like the games industry, like still sometimes with the bigger games, still targets it more towards men. But then, there's still
the
quite
people who are
gendered.
making the games as well. The majority of game studios are made by just teams of almost all men. I mean, there's a woman who runs Ubisoft Montreal who basically does all the Assassin's Creed stuff. I can't remember her name, and she's really big in the gaming industries now and stuff. I think like Jade or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Jane or something like that. But I mean, it is slowly changing. Because, I mean, up until now, the games that were made solely for girls rather than things like originally, Call of Duty was never really marketed at women, but I mean, a lot of women play it.
It's not marketed at a lot of people.
Yeah. But the original ones were like the games marketed at women were made by a bunch of guys who just weren't interested. It was like their first thing, and they was like, blah.
You know what still pisses me off?
Barbie and the Nutcracker.
Yeah, I still go
games.
on YouTube and like one of the adverts is Nintendogs. It's a game. No, Animal Crossing. It's a game for girls. Like, hi, this is the Nintendo Girls Game Club. I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah,
That's not true. Josh from the other room plays it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I got
a lot of people play it.
I know, lots of people play it, but it's just the fact that it was marketed as a gentle game for girls, and I was like, right, okay.
It's done.
No.
Yeah. It was all pink. The advert was very pink. She was dressed in pink, all the back screens were pink. Yeah.
That was something about Nintendo. I think I read it. In Sims, and in a lot of games now, there's same-sex marriages and stuff like that, and same-sex relationships. And they've said that they've got a game which is a bit like The Sims, something, and they've said that that's not going to be in the game. They're not going to put it in. They've just flat down refused it. I'm just thinking, why?
Oh shit!
Well, it's just a bit dumb at this day and age. I mean, why would you stop that?
Well, I suppose because their main market still is in Japan. I mean, we try and have some say, but really we're still kind of the outreach. Like when we try and, like when Western opinions kind of go onto manga, the people who are producing it, they're still in Japan, so they kind of acknowledge it, but they don't really take it as much into account.
That's the thing. A lot of manga, and I always see when it comes to manga and anime, I always see it's almost like a lot of it is trying to be Western.
Yeah.
And it's
sometimes.
not. I mean, yeah, that's what I end up seeing is the stuff that's trying to be Western, and I very rarely see something that is purely an Eastern kind of.
But then, do you mean like with all the characters' hair colours? Because the people who are Japanese see them as Oriental, but then because we come from Western and we see pale skin and different hair colours, we see Western.
Yeah, and just crazy. Yeah. It's just like, because I knew when I was at school, there was lots of Cantonese and Taiwanese and people who would come on board and I don't know.
They just kind of, I think they just see like all the different hair colours and things as stylisations, because if you ask them, they do see them as Japanese or Chinese or whatever people.
Yeah, it's a culture, but I think it's partially adopted, which is a shame. I'd much rather see something very, very kind of like a full-on kind of.
Studio Ghibli have done a new one, haven't they? Of Princess I think it's Mononoke, or no, it's the princess, like the bamboo princess. Like, she was found in bamboo and then she goes to the moon, but it's done in that style, like, you know, the kind of watercolours on paper. And it's absolutely beautiful. And I really want to see it,
I can sort of get your point, Josh, though, because I do like it when a show's sort of basing its culture accurately on what it's basing it around, because then it just feels more immersive.
Yeah.
That's part of why I think Vikings is so entertaining, because it is accurately painting this world that happened.
And I guess it's more fresh, isn't it? It's not something you see every day. You see.
I like it when Western shows aren't just cultural appropriation, like when they go full in depth into things rather than just take a few aspects and think, okay, now we're just going to slap this on the white cast.
Now we're going to market it to BBC Three or something.
Or in American shows, we're like, okay, now we're just going to put it all in the white cast.
Yeah. Actually, I did notice something with Walking Dead product placement. I've seen a few Hyundai.
What are you talking about? They only go to the supermarket every 2 episodes to raid stuff.
Hey, I found some Branston beans. They'll be tasty. No, but I did see that the only clean car in all of it was a Hyundai.
Oh,
and they're talking about Hyundais after Hyundai presents scenes from next week. I'm like, I'm just going to watch it. And then he's driving one that's perfectly clean. Like, who's got time to wash the car?
Maybe the zombies, like, there's a special kind of subset of, like, car zombies who just want a really nice car. Their drool cleans it.
The tyres are well inflated, it's clean inside, there's like an air freshener.
I think someone was talking about, like, the product placement in Breaking Bad, like the Paddock Aztec. And it was like they used the car to like run over 2 bodies.
Yeah.
It was like someone was like saying, "Now that's product placement."
That's the proper way to use our product.
Nobody ever bought that car until that came out.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get
on
to Game of
have
Thrones?
you heard about the 1,500-year-old Bible that's caused such a big stir? And I checked on Snopes. Like, it hasn't appeared. They haven't put an article in BBC, I think, yet, but they've put it on several other news networks. It hasn't been disproved yet, but it says that Christ wasn't crucified. And so the Catholics are just like, what is this? What is this shit?
The one they've been reading for the last, few centuries was the King James version, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm not going to go too into it because,
I don't know.
I've had enough of theology this year.
But the Bible has been kind of rewritten throughout history. People often acknowledge this.
It's been misappropriated a few times.
Like, originally there wasn't just Adam and Eve, there's a whole group. Like, if you look at the Jewish Bible, which is even older because it hasn't been translated so many times into English by various English people, English kings who want it.
Well, it did get translated to Latin and then to Latin.
Yeah, I don't really want to spend too long on a religious topic, but I did hear, you know how like some religions are notorious for constantly like forcing their religion on other people and telling you which religion is right. Apparently, I read up somewhere that apparently like Jesus never sort of pressed his religious beliefs on anyone, and always like insisted
said it was a sin too.
Yeah, and he always insisted that everyone sort of pray quietly and in their own time instead of in public to everyone.
Well, in a big group, rather loudly in a big stone building.
Have you seen the?
Yes, that's it.
Just very, very quickly, have you seen a demonstration that some pro-lifers done in America where they did like this huge glass box of pennies and donations, like help us to save more lives. And people just going to say, well, instead of using that to fund against abortions, could you not use that to save people who are in danger and therefore save more lives?
There's a lot of really dumb stuff like that.
Pro-lifers are pretty, I'm not going to say anything, because,
There was something I saw, it's like Seth, there's the whole kind of, there's some states in obviously in America, that's where most of the states are, where obviously they've legalised marijuana and things like that. And I remember reading something about Seth Rogen who responded to some very kind of anti-legalisation woman who said, how many more people have to die, and then she put like #pot to blame. You just responded like, you're a fucking dumbass. Like, you have to smoke like it's something like ridiculous amount in like a ridiculous, like an impossible amount in like a half an hour to get anywhere near overdosing on the stuff. It's just like, oh god, it's just some people, they misappropriate so many things, and the whole kind of Bible thing and all that kind of stuff, and like people are just focusing their energies in the wrong direction.
One thing I have noticed is that there has, like, I looked on the internet, and like, in recent years, there actually has been, over the generations, people often say, oh, the young are using drugs more than ever, but actually there's always been a steady decline, apart from MDMA, which has gone up.
Yeah.
But all the rest have gone into quite a steep decline, and there's less and less people using it, and it's across all the classes. It's not just, the homeless people on the streets. It's not just the high flyers either. There's plenty of middle-class mums who have to, middle-class moms who kind of, like, who are so hooked that, they kind of have to shoot up heroin in between taking the kids to school or whatever, just because once you're stuck on it, you can't get off it. So there's those people who are heroin addicts who you just wouldn't guess. So, yeah. So our generation are actually doing pretty well, I reckon.
Yeah.
And that's our conclusion.
Yes.
We're all good.
I tend to stay away from
Nothing is wrong.
We're all fine.
Yeah, we've got forever.
So, Game of
Never
Thrones.
run out of fuel. Right.
So from this point onwards, we're going to do a spoiler talk on the newest episode of Game of Thrones, which is episode 5 of season 4, I think.
Yes, we're halfway through now.
Yeah, pretty much. So, what did people think of this week's episode?
It was really overshadowed for me. I enjoyed it because it was necessary to set up where the characters are and why things are working, but it was really overshadowed for me as I just watched the season 2 finale of Vikings, which was amazing, and then this came out and it was just another kind of middle season episode.
In all fairness, I think this is definitely a filler episode. Would you all agree?
Yes, but it's also necessary filler.
It's
unnecessary
not
filler.
pointless.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was unnecessary, but yeah.
It is filler.
But it's definitely, I think this definitely is one of the weaker episodes, but there's still a lot of enjoyment to be had from it.
Yeah,
like
it's a lot
the growing...
more kind of drama than physical action and things like that, but I mean it sets up a lot of what's going to happen.
The friendship between Arya and the Hound gives me so much life.
I really like Pod at the moment. I think he's great.
Yeah.
He's
very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good character.
I feel, I guess one thing that did kind of annoy me was it just really felt like a lot of the events that happened in this episode really wouldn't have impacted the story much if they never happened. So,
but at the same time, they are probably going to be necessary.
I mean,
There's probably little clues as well.
Yeah, mainly the thing with Crassus Keep, I'm thinking if they took that story out of the series, would the story be any different? So that does make me say this is so.
The story would basically still mean Jon Snow isn't really taking command. Also, like Alistair Thorne expected him not to come back, kind of thing, and expected all his supporters to die with him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot more. There's a lot more to it when you kind of look into it a bit deeper. So I think there's not much on the surface level, but it's all very important stuff.
I guess one,
like the whole thing about John Aaron and stuff. We've been waiting for that answer. The people who've been watching the show, not really, we've been waiting for that answer from the first fucking episode.
I will get to that in a minute, but I guess one thing I did like about the scene was the fight between Carl and Jon Snow because I did like how they made it like Jon was almost going to lose if that Craster wife didn't stab Carl in the back.
Yeah.
So maybe like Jon Snow might start having a realization later on in the series that maybe fighting honourably isn't going to keep him alive.
I think that's not really his problem. It's just I think that the way he's been trained to swing a sword is like that. He's just got to learn to kind of think outside the box a bit more because he lived with wildlings. He had to kill.
Yeah, but I think he's going to start
and all that kind of stuff. So.
I think he's going to start thinking at some point fighting honourably, maybe a more respectful way to fight, but it's not going to keep me alive against these sort of people.
I think he's already there. Just he hasn't got hang of it yet.
Yeah. So I hope they develop on that.
Maybe we're using his wolf. No, he's got it back.
He knows what goes back.
Yeah.
Sevils, where have you been?
I would just say the most gruesome death I saw was when Hodor literally just
snapped the guy's neck.
That was nice.
It was
I've been waiting for
Hodor
to lose it.
Really, I thought it was more gruesome when he got the sword through.
Yeah, but I've seen that in a few things. I've seen that in a few things. When Hodor just kind of goes, it's like, okay. And like, you see him there, he's got like a compound fracture.
Yeah, it was like literally sticking out.
I hope Hodor doesn't remember that.
Well, he knew what happened.
I will.
Hodor.
Yeah, I will get.
Hodor.
I will get to one more thing I didn't like about this episode before we start talking about positives, so it doesn't just sound like I'm completely shitting all over the episode. But there's one the
It'd
scene.
be really shit if we just couldn't find any positives after this.
The scene. I really didn't like the scene between Lysa and Petar Baelish at the start of the episode.
Sorry, who?
Between Petar Baelish and
Peter.
Yeah, Peter.
I thought you said Patal. Patal Baelish.
James Peter, just spelled funny.
I really didn't like that scene between him and Lysa because they straight up revealed what happened to Jon Arryn, and in the books it's like this big reveal at the very end of the book. But here they just bring up.
But they're going to have too much at the end of the season to catch up.
But
If they suddenly at the end of the
but it
season
just-
there's a big season finale
but
and
it
someone
just-
goes, "Oh yeah, I killed Jon Arryn," people are going to be like,
But
"Fuck off."
it just took away. It just didn't feel as impacting. They sort of unveiled it like.
He's the guy who we never saw because he was dead at the beginning of the show.
The
I'd
whole
Oh,
reason
the
why it
king.
started.
yeah,
The Mad King.
basically.
No, not the Mad
his,
King.
Basically what
The
happened.
hand, the old hand.
Basically.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Basically, what
So
happened.
he got
yeah.
poisoned. and
Basically,
Sorry,
what
Dave.
happened. The reveal was that Lysa actually poisoned him, and then sent a letter to Catelyn saying it was the Lannisters making Ned go to King's Landing in the first place, starting the whole events of the War of Seven Kingdoms.
Okay.
But the problem is, which what annoyed me so much, is that they reveal it like it just sort of, oh, this happened. Well, in the books, it's like it's this big reveal towards the very end, and you're thinking, oh, holy shit, this is all coming together.
Yeah, but I think the thing is when it comes to the attentions of the TV kind of audience, I mean, people probably forgot who Jon Arryn was. Yeah.
But
I have to say I haven't read the book, so to be honest,
You didn't know who it was.
I didn't-
It was like,
yeah,
this
I
is the
know.
guy who died before
But I
it all
just think-
started. Yeah.
I think that's just yeah, but I think but people remember that Ned Stark went to King's Landing.
oh yeah,
Yeah, and
A lot of people
that's
forget why.
yeah.
I mean, I mostly remember because because Mum and I watched this first two seasons, like they're kind of sewing together, and she was knitting,
Yeah,
and
it's-
just happily watching all the blood and gore on screen.
Yeah. But I just thought with that
Happy
one.
domestic scene.
I just thought with that one scene, I do like the show taking creative interpretation because I like being surprised. But I felt like that one scene, I think they should have just stuck to the books because even if it took away from the impact.
I think they probably wanted to get that out of the way because they've probably got something bigger coming on.
I was going to say
Maybe.
it seems they're going to
Maybe.
For
They're
TV,
building
I
it
think
up
I
to-
think yeah, they've done that for TV. Obviously, it's got to be the end of the season's going to have too much going on for people to notice that.
But I just-
Yeah.
I
If they just
yeah.
hit that like one
Yeah,
little
but-
line in it, it's not going to work
yeah,
later in the
but I just
season. I don't think.
Yeah, but I just remember in the books, I remember it being this big unveiling, not just like a passing conversation.
I don't think it was a passing conversation.
It-
It was meant to seem like they already knew this. Like it's not meant to be a big thing for them because they already know this.
Yeah.
But it's meant to be like you hear the conversation, you go, "Shit," kind of thing. That's what it was meant to be. Maybe it didn't
Maybe
affect
it
you.
does.
the
Maybe
way
because
it's
you
meant to.
didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
because you
remember when
already
she
knew.
said that,
I was
'cause
quite
I-
surprised when I heard it, but maybe because you've already read the books.
I mean, I
and so
know-
you knew.
I did speak to some people about that scene as well, and a lot of people forgot that line of dialogue even happened in that episode because they didn't make a big deal out of it.
Well, the thing is, when I heard it, because I'd forgotten, I completely forgot this bit in the book, and I just kind of, because I was watching it with T, and I just kind of went, "Oh shit!" I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fuck!"
I just-
So it affected me the way it was meant
Did
to.
you drop your tea?
So, no.
I'm just saying.
the tea was
yeah.
saved.
I'm just saying it could have been a bit more epic than it was.
I didn't think it needed to be because it's meant to be kind of subterfuge kind of thing anyway, and they're the only two people that know about it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get on to what I really did like. This really did like. This is like my favourite scene out of the whole episode. Was the scene between Oberyn Martell and Cersei,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like they're just talking about my cellar and how is she?
I think it was a good episode for Cersei. I think.
Yeah, I mean, because one problem I often have with Cersei, they've tried to make her likable and sort of failed. But in this episode, you really did sort of feel for her in a way.
The main redeeming feature is her love for children.
It was nice. It was nice seeing It was nice seeing a sense of insecurity to her, or a bit of vulnerability to her, like I said, because like she's going to Oberyn saying, "Can you just take this boat and give it to Marcella?" Because
Well,
she really
anyway,
likes
she's always-
sailing.
She has shown insecurity in the past. You know, her fear of where she was
she has
going,
an-
and her fear of
She
that.
has insecure
but-
moments, but she always tries to hide it. 'Cause she hates being vulnerable.
Yeah, but it is kind of
Yeah, but it was nice.
not a positive.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to say there's a difference kind of being kind
Yeah.
of positive, vulnerable, and just negative.
Yeah.
And she was just negative.
not-
She was just afraid all the time.
Yeah.
And this one was more kind of
I'm not saying.
yeah.
I'm not saying she always has to be vulnerable because I think that'd be dishonest to the character then. But it's nice to get those few moments
Yeah.
because it makes you sort of realise how she is. You know, a character like everyone else. She's not the pitch black bad guy.
I think there's a nice kind of scene, the whole kind of negotiation between her and Marjorie and her and Tywin. I think that was nice. She's kind of not so much focusing on herself now.
Yeah.
It's more kind of like a big family thing. She knows that which doesn't like Marjorie too much, but they need to be allies with the Tyrells and stuff.
Tell you what's
I was going to call them the Tyrells then.
Yeah.
That's our local crisp company.
tell you what's one big unveiling which I've happened in the book. This I've not happened in the book yet, or did happen in the book and I wasn't listening. Is that the Lannisters are financially screwed.
Yeah, the Iron Bank. Well, it's not. I don't know if it's technically that. It's just a
They
crown.
they own a huge
I
section
think
of the
it was
Iron Bank, and if you haven't been if you've been listening earlier on in the previous episodes, they have mentioned multiple times that the Iron Bank is something you don't want to be in debt to.
Yeah.
Because they have a reputation for funding their enemies if you don't pay them back.
Shit.
And
they're closer geographically to Daenerys than anybody else, aren't they?
I can sort of see. I
Holy
can sort of see one way of this sort of playing out. It's just an idea, so it's not a spoiler. Don't worry.
Daenerys gets her ships.
Yeah.
She's already got them.
I can see.
Gets more ships.
She just is.
Even more.
Golden swords.
Just wants all the ships.
I can see one way of this playing out, and this isn't a spoiler because I don't know if this can happen yet.
The friend zone of ships.
I think what could happen is, remember how Stannis and Davos in a few episodes earlier were talking about buying sellswords from the Golden Company, but they mentioned how they don't have any gold. Now Stannis at the moment is probably the kingdom's biggest enemy, so wouldn't it be? So I could see the Iron Bank suddenly funding Stannis to buy sellswords.
Well, I know what Stannis does, so.
Okay, but I think that's what my theory on what might maybe happen.
Oh, I just thought you remembered. Bring it back to Games of Thrones, or do you want to talk more about Game of Thrones?
Should we got anything else you want to talk about?
So just remember, there's a news thing. There's 2 new Pokemon out, and it's Pokemon Alpha Red, I think, and Omega Blue.
It's Sapphire Ruby.
Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah, I don't care.
We're gonna have to go through all the Mudkips reference again.
So I'm just playing Crystal again.
Yeah, I don't.
I was just running from the whole. I hope you like ships. I hope you like Mudkips.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yeah, I don't really care.
That'd be quite cool, actually.
I was never into, I never started playing them just because it was my brother, but I might get into it.
I played them when they first came out and they were enjoyable games, but now it's kind of like
it's the same game.
Compulsive hoarding for people who collect Pokemon
it's
games.
The same,
the new one's out now. I have to buy it and play it. Oh, it's the same game.
I mean,
the graphics are slightly different.
I mean, it does get on there. It's basically just the same game they release every year now. I mean, it's basically, oh look, we added a few more pretty-looking Pokemon and we moved stuff around on the map.
We changed the name of this town, and there's a different theme song. You still have to climb that weird tower, though, and fight everybody all the way, who are all scared to be there for some reason.
This isn't Lavender Town, there's a Silent Bee in it.
Lavender Town. Yeah.
No, I haven't played any of them. I've been meaning to. I've got some on the GBA simulator. I just haven't got around to it because I just kind of missed the initial craze in the 90s when everything was Pokemon.
I had it on the original Game Boy as well.
Really?
I was more a Digimon girl.
Literally, once you played one Pokemon game, you really have to play more.
Digimon Monsters, Digimon.
I kind of enjoyed that until the film came out and it was on that weird card-shaped disc and it fucking sucked.
Literally though, if you played one Pokemon game, you've literally played them all.
Okay, I'll in my lifetime I like to play at least one, but the Digimon game, like the Pokemon film, it was heart-wrenching, but then like the lesson they learn at the end is, we shouldn't make these fights, and then literally the next episode, the next film, they're fighting again.
Yeah.
The Digimon film, they actually
There's been so many Pokemon films. There's been loads. One of them came out and everybody got like that super rare Agent Mew, so everybody had one. I had 3. I don't know how rare they were meant to be.
They'll hand them out as you went into the cinema.
You didn't even know what they said. You had to go on Google to find out what was written on them.
Look at all these gullible English people.
Yeah. Ha ha ha. Here's a cat card.
This is.
But it was all started by someone who was autistic, wasn't it? It was his way of understanding the natural kingdom. Like, I think the first one was the tadpole ones, like the ones with swirly bellies. And he was drawing the tadpoles, and you know how you can see all the organs?
Poliwrath, Poliwag, Poly...
So I think that was kind of how it sort of started, because they're... You know how you can see, like, they've got quite thin skin, so you can see all the intestines and everything inside. So he's kind of drawing it as like a little squiggle. It's his way of making sense of the animal kingdom, as that's how it all started. And now it's just got massively out of hand.
That's interesting.
So,
the more you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna wrap up in a minute now because we're over
I
an
want to
hour.
talk about one thing.
Okay, one more thing. We're gonna wrap up.
One more thing.
Oh, no, I got another one.
One more thing,
Jackie.
One more thing. I'm just gonna stop the record button.
Gotham.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah,
Go on,
that looks
I mean-
really interesting. Pre-Batman, well, kind of pre-Batman. It's got the guy from the OC.
Well, it's not even. It's not even.
It's got the guy who plays King Horik in Vikings, who hasn't turned up yet. So far, you've watched, so you won't know him. And it just looks really. I think it's going to be really cool.
It's the focus on basically Jim Gordon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome.
Who's the guy
It's
from the OC?
I found out it's not going to be a TV series. It's just going to be a TV movie.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, what? One
Well,
of those
yeah,
sort
but
of
so was
might-
Sharp.
that might-
I loved
That
Sharp.
might,
That was a
but
TV movie.
that might work because I couldn't imagine a concept like that
I
lasting
think it'd
like
have to
20
be.
episodes.
Yeah, it'd either have to be that or like filmed like 24 was,
Yeah.
just forever.
So yeah, I think that could work. I mean,
So
I don't.
they've only got a finite amount of time between Bruce Wayne being a child and Bruce Wayne being Batman. Okay.
Thing is, it's not really. I wouldn't really say it's a prequel, or like an origin, because an origin is Batman becoming Batman.
It's
Well,
not
no,
an origin,
yeah, but
this
it's
is
not.
an
It's
origin.
not.
But this is
It's not.
both.
It's not
But-
Batman.
but
It's an
that's-
origin.
this is what people are calling it though, like an origin story, and I don't think it's an origin story.
No, it's not.
It's before the origin story.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
watch it if it was an origin story. It's about Gotham. That's why
Yeah.
it's called Gotham. It doesn't actually say Batman.
It doesn't say Dark Knight. It just says Gotham.
It could.
Gotham.
It could.
You should say Jim Gordon.
I'm,
Gotham.
I'm cautiously optimistic about it.
I think I'm going to watch it anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's as far as the same like everybody's talking about the new Star Wars thing. And everybody's like, oh, it's gonna be shit, and some people are going to say, oh, it's going to be great. I'm going to watch it.
Say.
It doesn't matter.
It was the
You
same with the
say
prequels.
that-
I
I've
watched
watched
say
them.
all of them.
You say that
It
every
doesn't matter.
you say that every episode though. But that's not the question I asked.
But they have another kind of troopers, because they've had the clone
Oh,
troopers, they've had the stormtroopers.
I don't-
Do they have
I
new
don't-
kinds of
The,
troopers?
Pneumatic troopers.
No, new kind of troopers.
Aquatic troopers.
Okay,
Steam-powered troopers.
Okay, stop. Let's stop. Bye.
Oh, there's another one.